MadBhagavad Gita, Chapter-12, Bhakti Yoga, the Path of Devotion. Verse 1. Arjuna said, "Those devotees who thus are always engaged in exclusive worship of you, and then again those who betake the impersonal absolute, devoid of perceptible form and attributes, between them, who is most perfect in knowledge of the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness?" Verse 2. Lord Krishna said, "Of those who are endowed with firm faith of a special kind, beyond material conceptions, fixing their minds on me, always engaged exclusively worshipping me, they are considered by me the most superior of all." Verses 3 and 4. But those whose worship the indescribable, all-pervading, inconceivable, immutable, constant, eternal, impersonal absolute, devoid of perceptible form and attributes, completely controlling all the senses with spiritual intelligence, equally disposed to everything, and dedicated to the welfare of all living entities, they certainly also achieve me. Verse 5. Those whose minds are attached to the unmanifest aspect have much greater tribulations, because devoid of any perceptible form and attributes, success is achieved with great difficulty, due to beings identifying with the body. Verses 6 and 7. But those who, surrendering all activities unto me, being attached to me, meditating on me, with exclusive worship by the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness in devotion, O Arjuna, of these persons whose minds are absorbed in thoughts of me, I become their deliverer without delay from the ocean of death in the material existence. Verse 8. Concentrate the mind upon me, applying spiritual intelligence for me. Verily you will reside with me after this existence. Verse without 9. Doubt. O Arjuna, if therefore you are unable to completely establish the mind steadfastly in me, then try to obtain me by practicing the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness by remembering Verse me. 10. And if in this practice of remembering me you are also unfit, then be dedicated in the performance of duties for me, and in performing activities for my satisfaction, you will achieve perfection. Verse 11. And if also this you are unable to perform, then taking shelter of me by the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness, controlling the mind, perform all activities, renouncing the results. 12. Knowledge is superior to practice. Meditation is considered better than knowledge. Renouncing the results of actions is better than meditation. Verily, by such renunciation comes Verses 13 and 14. That devotee of mine who is non-envious, possessing benevolence towards all living entities, compassionate with no sense of proprietorship, free from false ego, equal in distress and happiness, forgiving, the always content one, perfecting the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness, self-controlled with unflinching determination, dedicating mind and spiritual intelligence upon me, is very dear to me. Verse 15. One from whom any person is never disturbed, and one who is never disturbed from any person, and who is freed from the mundane pleasures, anger, fear, and anxiety, such a one is very dear to me. That devotee of mine who is desireless, pure, expert, free from worry, free from agitation, unconcerned with any mundane endeavor, such a one is very dear. Verse 17. One who rejoices not, dislikes not, grieves not, and desires not, impartial to both what is auspicious and inauspicious, engaged in devotional service, such a one is very dear. Verses 18 and 19. That person who is equal to an enemy as well as a friend, also in honor or dishonor, impartial in cold, heat, happiness, and distress, exempt from attachment, equipoised in praise or repute, contemplative before speaking, satisfied with whatever comes on its own accord, not attached to domestic life, fixed in determination, and engaged in devotional service, such a one is very dear. Verse 20. Endowed with resolute faith in devotion to me, those who worship this nectarian path of righteousness as described, these devotees are very, very dear to me. Thus ends the Sri Bhagavad Gita Trust translation of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 12, entitled Bhakti Yoga, the Path of Devotion.